What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be previewing the semi-final between Port Adelaide and GWS this Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval, 7:10 p.m. It's going to be a game, isn't it? It's going to be one of those things where we're all sort of anticipating what could happen and what could be for Port coming up this Saturday night. I'm still excited. Still going to be a big crowd, I hope, and we get behind the boys and let's get them into a prelim final against Collingwood, because you just never know. It is the finals. And I know we've had a pretty difficult week and the confidence has sort of been sapped out, and then GWS are coming over firing, fit, ready to go. And the big bid sound, the orange tsunami, you name it, they're coming. So we've got to be at our absolute best. So let's get straight into it and let's preview the semi-final between Port and the Giants. What a game this is going to be. Now, I know we look back at round 22 as sort of a key pillar. And it's quite funny that both the semi-finals this week were played in round 22. It's one of those games where you just look back and you go, how different does 4 or 5 weeks look in terms of form? We just bounced back after 4 losses in a row and really demolished the Giants. They had a couple of injuries, and we definitely had a better side than what we'll probably have this Saturday night. Question marks over our injuries are there. Obviously, McKenzie, Marshall, Aaliyah, Dersma, Williams. Obviously, Jonas is out with a calf. Dixon, what's he going to do? I went to open training and I just saw so many limping players, injured players that were sore. And obviously, you're not going to have a fully fit player at this time of the year. No one does. But it's how you manage and how best you get to be at this time of the season in a crucial game, in a clutch game, and one game that we simply must win. And I'll start from the top. McKenzie was not even at open training, casual attire, probably unlikely to play. There's a plan in place to play Burton, Bergman and Jones as a taller unit along with Aaliyah. Aaliyah most certainly will get up. There's some talk around Passini possibly coming in as well, so that could be quite an option there. Obviously, there's flexibility with Finlayson possibly going back as well, and even a Marshall type. He's great field kick still, even though his goal kicking is a bit sucky. But I think there's an opportunity there to be really flexible with our list, and you never know what you could spark. Dersma and Marshall were walking laps. They look okay. I think they'll probably get up. There's obviously a lot of players lined up, ready to go. I want to talk about Dixon. Dixon's the one for me that was the key in terms of looking at open training, and he moved well. He looked real good, looked ready to go as well. So I have no doubt he'll play this week. It depends obviously how he recovers from the last 2 trainings during the week, the main training session and the captain's run. But he's no doubt ready to go, I think, and he's fit and firing. So that's a massive in for us, a barometer in terms of bringing that passion, bringing that edge. And we definitely need him to be fully fit and firing, ready to go for Saturday night. Will complement the smalls really well, and I think he'll help the likes of McEntee. He was working with McEntee a lot on Tuesday. Maybe a Fantasia comes in as well. Francis Evans has always been around the mark. And I think there's a lot of flexibility we can do there. There are obviously going to be some question marks over selection no matter which way Ken and the group go. Definitely think Orazio's a good shout over Francis Evans or McEntee, especially with that flair and that opportunity that he could have. He's been fit and firing in the sample, and if he's been playing in the SANFL for that long without injury, then no doubt he should be coming in. The other question mark over selection is obviously Boki, and what do we do with him? I think there's a very likely chance he just stays as a sub again this week, and it'll be a very interesting indication for how, with all the talk this week, and how it will occur. If it stays as sub, there's definitely the talk of him not playing on next year. That's probably going to kind of be real. If he comes in, plays a full game, that's more of a sign that they're possibly giving him a full game to send him off as well. But that's 2 sides there. Like, one, you could say they're sending him off for the full game, or they're believing in him that he can go around next year. And if you make a difference in a final, then that might persuade the club to actually put pen to paper with him for 1 more season. So one thing to watch. But there's a lot of players on notice this week, a lot of people that definitely will be considered options to come in, options to come out. And after a 48-point loss in a qualifying final, it's an absolute no-brainer. So be interesting to see what they do. Now it's combating GWS. As I said, it's different to round 22. They're a lot stronger. They look a lot more cleaner, GWS as well. They've got Daniels and Bedford playing this week. Obviously, they're big key pillars down back. Taylor, the main one as well. which Finlayson and Marshall did a really good job against them in round 22. So I definitely think combating that will be handy. Obviously, with down in their forward line, they're not the tallest. They've got Riccardi and they've got Hogan. So it's obviously a big opportunity for them to sort of expose us in a way. Obviously, they got the swingman with Himmelberg, so he can play forward or back. So they can expose us down there. I do think Bergman can play a tall man's job. Riccardi might be his opponent. Aliir will probably take Hogan. Aliir took Riccardi last time, but sort of got dominated. Played quite loosely on him, and I think we need someone a bit more tighter on Riccardi in that aspect. He can move around a lot quicker than what Aliir can. And then Hogan as well. He's a one-on-one player, but definitely can get caught out in time. So one you should expose and expose well. And obviously they're smalls. Toby Green, Bedford, Daniels. They've got an elite brigade, a great midfield as well. Canelio comes back in from missing out in the elimination final. They've got a lot of positives coming their way, GWS. So we're going to have to combat that and make sure our pressure is to a final standard. Because pressure will win us this game. I have no doubt in that. If we bring it to a finals level, we will beat GWS. That's our best footy. Our best footy is playing finals like footy. You look at games like Geelong, look at games like Melbourne. Even the Collingwood loss, that was a finals-like game. Didn't quite get the job done, but our pressure was elite. It was above anything else we've put out during the year. So that's how we win this game, and that's how we illuminate GWS in this semi-final. Just one thing before I get on to my tip. Just want to talk about the crowd and the atmosphere around the fan base. It's the least excited I've seen a fan base for a final. It's real early 2000 spec in terms of there was 35,000 at those games at Footy Park. Coming into games where straight sets was almost a given, and we didn't win a final till 2002. And it's an eerie feeling, like it's almost like this again. It's not even a sellout, this one. Like I was looking at the ticket map, and obviously there was some single seats in there, and they looked quite empty. But the top half on the eastern side was pretty much all available, and there's opportunities galore for tickets. And I'm sure if people went on there and wanted to go and wanted to attend, they had a great opportunity to do so. The whole thing's available to the public. I hope you Port fans are going after that, and I hope you get there, because regardless of the talk and the situations surrounding different avenues in our club at the moment, finals, straight sets, Ken, the club, Boak, this is an opportunity. I look at, and put it into perspective today, I saw a comment where it said, this is a final that regardless what I would be at, I will attend, because you look at someone like Carlton, they haven't attended a final in 10 years. You just never know when it will happen again. And I hope it keeps happening every single year, because that's Port Adelaide. But we look back at the times where we weren't playing there. We went there for 5-6 years, and it eats at you. So take this opportunity, get there, support the boys that are on the park, and let's get the job done. You just never know what we can do. That's the positive outlook I'm going to take into this one. We look at the rest there, if there's a straight sets exit, and what's to come with list management. So my tip. Port Adelaide will win this by 17 points. It's what I tipped on the glass table, and I think I'm sticking with that. A 3-goal win. It's a 3-goal advantage with the crowd, and I think that is what's going to happen here. We're going to get us across the line. I'm talking not giving in, never tear us apart. The power chant ringing around Adelaide Oval. Nothing beats that. When you're in the moment, it's unbeatable. And I think Port Adelaide will get the job done. Rosie, Butters, Houston, Ollie Lord, Dixon's going to be back. I think all on the scoreboard, all making an impact. And whilst GWS will challenge, I think we've got enough power to do it. So with that is my preview for the semi-final. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, Port fans, on this one, and AFL fans in general. Get around the glass table episode that came out this week, and I'll be making sure I see you all there on Saturday night for the semi-final. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name's Anthony, and as always, come Pear.